With their villages located 1500 to 4500 feet above sea level, the Dangria Kandha live amongst the lush green forests of the Niyamgiri hill ranges. The Dangria Kandha claim to be descendants from Niyam Raja and are a section of the Kandha community, the largest tribal group of Odisha. Residing in the Bissam Katak, Kalyan Singhpur and Muniguda blocks of Raigada district, they call themselves Jharniya, or those who live by the streams. The Dangria Kandha believe in the spiritual powers of the natural elements. They celebrate the annual Meria or Kedu festival in honor of earth goddess Dharini Penu. This festival is an occasion for ritual sacrifice and merriment. Dangria Kandha men and women present a striking picture. Attired in richly embroidered shawls and with their long hair styled and decorated with colorful clips and flowers. The community is engaged in swidden cultivation and are also skilled horticulturalists.
Here farming requires more labor, which a family cannot provide. Therefore, they have evolved an indigenous knowledge how to engage the labor available in the community to accomplish the entire farming tasks of all the families of that village. The film documents different type of labor cooperative, its socio-religious significance and application side of the labor congress that the Dangria Kandha practice.
Cultivable land is of three types. Dangar is the high hill land where turmeric, ginger, a variety of chili and millets are grown. Bhat is the fertile land in the foothills that is used for cultivation of paddy. Baru is the kitchen garden which is used to grow vegetables. Orchards are also maintained in the hills, and the Dangria Kandha use these to cultivate pineapple, banana, orange, lemon, mango and jackfruit. In the swidden fields, cultivation is carried out by hoeing the land, a practice that requires many hours of labor and manpower. Allocation of swidden land is made by the village council, to whom all the village lands belong. Every family in the village is responsible for cultivating the land allocated to them and is expected to discharge its obligations towards the village as a community. These obligations take the form of participation in village festivals and financial contribution to rituals like Meria. Contribution of labor towards the village labor cooperative is also expected. Social equality is an important feature of the Dangria Kandha labor cooperative. Here, children above the age of 9, men, women and even elderly community members are seen as contributing equally in terms of the amount of labor they may carry out in a day. These labor cooperatives are important due to the labor-intensive nature of agricultural practice in the hills. They also help foster social ties and kinship within the village. Thus, it is not the men alone, but the entire family as a unit that gives labor to the cooperative. A family can be a member of any number of cooperatives that may be formed in their village. All the members of a cooperative have equal rights. Any member may request the labor of other member families. Each member family is also obligated to respond to the request, and a fine is imposed in case of non-participation. Mutual cooperation is key to the smooth functioning of the labor cooperatives.
A member is allowed to be absent in labor cooperative program for 3 consecutive days. If the family could not attend any program after 3 consecutive days, then the committee will decide what would be the fine. Basically, the fine is that such labor cooperative activities cannot be taken up in the cultivation of the family which have not contributed labor to the labor cooperatives.
As an indigenous social system, the cooperatives make use of community beliefs as well as indigenous knowledge of agriculture and local environment to grant labor requests. The priority of activities to be taken up by the cooperative are thus determined so that those in need of urgent help are given aid before other requests are met. With these goals in mind, the labor cooperatives are of several types. The largest cooperative in terms of membership is the Sahabati, also known as Kutumbati. All households of the village are members. When a request is made to the village council, a day for providing the labor is then decided. A day beforehand, a dome messenger will communicate the place and time of the Sahabati. Every household contributes a family member. On the appointed morning, the group leaves for the fields at sunrise. The host family, who has made the labor request, also participates in the work. In the past, at midday, the family would provide a feast of rice, dal, curry and gruel to those who have come to help. In the evening, a drink called pejo and a mixture of rice and gruel was served. In the recent years, however, the members of the Sahabati have started to bring their own food, and the practice of organizing a feast has been discontinued. Families who fail to participate are fined. Significantly, a family cannot request labor for 2 consecutive days. This is to ensure that all members benefit from the cooperative. The host family also pays a token amount to the village fund. These collected monies are utilized during the Meriah celebrations. After the day's work, the group returns to the village at sunset. Pundavati is another type of labor cooperative, which has 10 to 15 members. They are called upon when smaller number of helpers are needed in the fields. Here, no fines are imposed for absence. The collected money is utilized to organize feasts. Other specialized labor groups are also formed. The Dasibati, or cooperative of the girls' dormitory, provides labor within the clan. The group is made up of all the unmarried girls of the village. They are called for light but tedious work, such as weeding, cleaning, fencing and harvesting. The members usually provide labor to one another and charge double to work for non-members. The monies collected are used for feasts or while courting during festival in the village. The Dhangrabati or Young Men's Cooperative is engaged by villagers for hard work like hacking trees, hoeing, carrying logs and digging pits. They are provided with food and money for a day's work. The Dutaribati or cooperative of old men help each other in the swidden fields and enjoy a drink together after the labor. Apart from the labor cooperatives, the Dangria Kandha also have systems of paid labor. One of these contracts is known as Kadabati, where non-members can invite the cooperative by paying double the money, in addition to providing a feast. Work contracts may also be taken up for a fixed sum of money, if help of the cooperative is needed for 2 or more consecutive days. Contract labor of any other kind, especially to domes, is paid for in advance and called teka. In the case of teka, those participating in the labor are not provided with any food or implements required to carry out the work. The Dangria Kandha usually undertakes such work in the days prior to major festivals or ceremonies, so as to earn extra money to meet such expenses. Also, individual labor may be taken up for payment and is called kuli. In the past, the Dangria Kandha favored working within the community, and kuli was rarely accepted. In kuli, the men and women work as agricultural labor or for the construction of roads and buildings. In this system, men are paid more than women for a day of labor. The coexistence of both systems is testament to the economic and social changes facing the Dangria Kandha and how they have adapted to the same. While paid labor, in particular kuli, was originally shunned, it is now frequently taken up. By utilizing this traditional system of cooperative labor, several development schemes have been initiated in the micro-project areas inhabited by the Dangria Kandha. These include the construction and repair of roads, building of community houses, and construction of schools.
The community, they voluntarily offer the help of labor cooperative and extended their cooperation to the micro project Dangria Kandha Development Agency to undertake development programs in their own villages as well as in their own fields up in the hills in difficult terrains. With the help of the labor cooperatives, now you will find miles together pineapple plantation in village Khejuri, in village Khambesi and in the village Kurli. After being inspired by this success of this plantation, other villagers also offer their labor cooperative for implementation of such programs in their villages.
These initiatives demonstrate how the steadfast adherence of the Dangria Kandha to their indigenous social systems may help in the development of the community. Utilizing labor cooperatives is not only cheaper, it also ensures the timely completion of works as the community is engaged in labor that will ultimately benefit them directly. Apart from community solidarity, the cooperative structure also ensures that widows and the invalid may continue to cultivate their land and be productive members of the village while retaining their dignity. Governed by the spirit of equality, the Dangria Kandha labor cooperative's value cannot be measured in economic terms alone. As rich and poor, young and old work side by side, the system reinforces the positive nature of collective labor and cooperation. Exchange labor is particularly valuable for those who cannot afford to pay to hire workers. It also helps the village meet the costs of festivities without burdening the families to contribute by borrowing monies. When used for development activities, it is a formidable force for change. The inherent desire to help one's fellow and the use of labor to fund community events and foster village solidarity are worth emulating, especially in today's world. In preserving this, the Dangria Kandha preserve an important human legacy.
Dora vanela de la sundora